8 people you must avoid in old age. Even family. Stoicism. As we age, time becomes a luxury we can no longer afford to waste. Unlike wealth or status, time can't be bought back, nor can it be replaced with hopes or dreams. In our later years, how we choose to spend this limited resource is more critical than ever. Unfortunately, many of us unknowingly spend valuable time with people who drain our energy, bring negativity, or offer little in return. These relationships, sometimes, even within our own families, can slowly erode our peace of mind and sense of purpose. In this video of Stoic in Your Life, we'll explore 8 people you must avoid in old age, and how, by embracing modern Stoicism, we can protect ourselves from toxic influences. Armed with Stoic secrets, we'll uncover ways to navigate relationships that are draining and ensure that we safeguard our most precious resource, time. 8 people you must avoid in old age. Number 1, the eternal victim. Have you ever come across someone who seems to be permanently stuck in a cycle of blaming everyone and everything for their troubles? This is the essence of the eternal victim, and I'm sure you've encountered someone like this in your life. It's that person who never takes responsibility for their circumstances. No matter what happens, they always have an excuse, always someone else to blame, whether it's the government, their family, or fate itself, whenever things go wrong. They live in a world where nothing is ever their fault, and the burden of all misfortune always falls on the shoulders of others. If you really stop to think about it, it's utterly draining, isn't it? You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Someone who constantly complains about their job, their health, or their life, but never takes any steps to improve. They might even have opportunities that could lead to positive changes, but they reject them, too afraid or too set in their ways to try something new. Instead of taking ownership of their life or making any real effort to change their situation, they remain stuck in their negativity, spiraling further into despair. And the worst part? They pull everyone around them down with them. Their constant complaints and their refusal to take any action become a weight that others must carry. It can be so emotionally exhausting, especially if you care about the person. I'm sure you've experienced that sense of frustration when you try to offer advice or encouragement, only to be met with more complaints and more blame. You might have even found yourself feeling helpless or angry, as their negativity chips away at your own peace of mind. The danger of engaging with the eternal victim is that it can slowly erode your own emotional well-being. In old age, when time becomes an even more precious resource, we simply cannot afford to waste it on people who refuse to help themselves or take responsibility for their lives. The Stoic philosophy teaches us a very important lesson here. While we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, we can always control our own response. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. This insight is incredibly powerful when it comes to dealing with the eternal victim. The key to preserving your peace is learning to detach from their influence, to step back emotionally, and to refuse to let their constant negativity affect your own outlook on life. But let me ask you, how often have you found yourself caught in their web of blame and despair? How many times have you felt your energy drained, trying to help someone who simply won't take responsibility? In your pursuit of modern Stoicism, it's essential to recognize that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are your responsibility. You cannot afford to give them away to someone who chooses to remain stagnant. Instead of falling into the trap of offering endless sympathy to someone who refuses to evolve, it's time to focus on what truly matters: your own growth, your own peace, and the meaningful relationships that nurture you. The Stoics understood that we can't control the world around us, but we can control how we respond. If someone in your life is stuck in the cycle of victimhood, I encourage you to step back. Not out of anger, not out of judgment, but out of a deep respect for your own well-being. In the end, time is short, and we should not waste it on people who refuse to grow. Let go of the eternal victim and protect your energy for those who are willing to change, evolve, and walk with you on the path of growth. Number 2, the manipulator. As we navigate the complexities of life, especially in our later years, we come to realize the importance of the people we surround ourselves with. Stoic wisdom teaches us that our peace of mind and well-being are not only a product of our inner discipline, but also of the relationships we maintain. Among the most dangerous individuals you might encounter in old age is the manipulator. This person is a master at playing on your emotions, disguising their selfishness behind a veil of charm and consideration. They may appear as though they care deeply about your well-being, but in truth, they are simply seeking to exploit your time, energy, and resources for their own gain. They might sweet-talk you, use flattery, or manipulate you with guilt, slowly wearing down your defenses. You might find yourself constantly doing favors for them, yet they never return the favor or even acknowledge your needs. Over time, this leaves you drained and questioning your worth, as they skillfully twist your kindness into something that serves their own agenda. The danger of such a relationship is not immediately visible. It often starts small, with seemingly innocent requests that snowball into a pattern of emotional exploitation. The more you give, the less you receive, and before you know it, your self-esteem and sense of autonomy have been chipped away. In Stoic thought, one of the most valuable teachings is the concept of setting firm boundaries. As Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The same can be applied to your relationships. By limiting the demands others make on you, you create a space where your time and energy are your own. This is especially important as you age, when energy and health become more finite. If you continually allow a manipulative person to take from you without reciprocity, you are not only compromising your emotional well-being, but also your physical and mental health. You must protect your peace, guarding against individuals who wear the guise of friendship but harbor ulterior motives. By recognizing manipulation for what it is, you can reclaim your dignity and set the course for a more fulfilling and empowered life. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but exercising this discipline will be liberating. As you grow older, protecting your energy becomes an act of self-respect, a commitment to your own peace of mind and personal growth. Modern life is full of distractions and people who will take without hesitation. Whether it's a family member who always demands your time but never offers help in return, or a friend who only reaches out when they need something. The manipulator is someone you must recognize and avoid. The Stoic secrets to maintaining a peaceful, balanced life rest on knowing when to say no and choosing to distance yourself from people who diminish your sense of self-worth. It is better to walk away from a relationship that drains you than to remain tethered to someone who brings nothing but emotional exhaustion. Always remember that your well-being is your responsibility, and you have the power to guard it. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize our inner peace and to focus on what is within our control. Manipulative people are a threat to this, and by setting firm boundaries, you allow yourself to live a life of tranquility and respect. Number 3, the energy vampire. These individuals are the ones who seem to thrive on negativity and chaos, draining the life and vitality from every interaction. They enter any room with a cloud of constant complaint, always finding something to criticize or exaggerate, turning even the smallest inconvenience into a full-blown personal crisis. A conversation with them feels like you're running a marathon. You begin full of energy, eager to engage, but as the interaction goes on, you quickly find yourself overwhelmed, exhausted, and by the end, emotionally drained. It's as if the very act of being around them slowly siphons your energy away, leaving you feeling depleted and out of sorts. You may recognize this type of person as someone who turns even a simple social outing into an overblown drama, feeding off the attention and the emotional turmoil they create. They thrive on the misery they create, often without any regard for the people around them. They ask for support but offer nothing in return, taking all the emotional investment you have to give without ever reciprocating. It's a one-sided relationship that over time can erode your emotional well-being. In these kinds of connections, you end up being the emotional giver, while the other person remains the perpetual taker. The more you interact with them, the more you find yourself emotionally drained and worn out. This is where modern Stoicism can offer valuable guidance. As we grow older, our emotional energy becomes an increasingly valuable resource. In Stoic philosophy, we understand that our time and energy are limited, and it's essential to use them wisely. We cannot afford to waste them on people who drain us or who do not contribute to our happiness or well-being. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the importance of focusing only on the things within our control, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses to the world around us. Everything else, including the energy vampires in our lives, is outside of our control. We must protect ourselves from those who suck the life out of us, especially as we enter the later years of our lives. We must choose the people we allow into our lives carefully, ensuring they are those who nurture us rather than deplete us. The famous Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This statement is a reminder that we should spend less time trying to change others or arguing with them, and instead focus on cultivating the best version of ourselves. This means protecting our emotional energy and surrounding ourselves with people who align with our values and who contribute positively to our lives. It is essential to recognize that as we get older, our time and energy become even more precious. We must choose companions who inspire us, who share in our joys, and who support us when times get tough, not those who thrive on drama and negativity. The true power of Stoicism is in its ability to help us focus on what truly matters. In modern Stoicism, we learn to carefully curate the relationships we maintain. We have the power to distance ourselves from negative influences, allowing us to protect our peace and cultivate a life that supports our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. The people we allow into our inner circle should add value to our lives, not detract from it. It's about creating an environment that fosters positivity, growth, and tranquility. So I urge you to take a step back and reflect. Are the people in your life helping you grow, or are they slowly draining your energy and happiness? If you find that they are the latter, it may be time to reconsider those relationships. After all, at this stage in life, your energy is far too valuable to be spent on people who don't contribute to your peace and well-being. Join our community. We want to hear from you. Comment, "I protect my energy" below if you believe in that power of choosing the right people to surround yourself with. Your engagement helps us build a strong, supportive space where we can all grow together, share wisdom, and create a positive environment that nurtures peace and personal growth. Share your thoughts with us. Number 4. The false friend. As we grow older, the people around us become more important than ever. But not all relationships are worth maintaining, especially when it comes to those that drain our energy or erode our sense of self. One person you absolutely must avoid is the false friend. On the surface, they may seem caring, offering a kind word or a helping hand when you need it most, but underneath, their motives are far from pure. They may hide behind a mask of compassion while secretly feeding off jealousy, competition, or a desire for control. Have you ever had someone in your life who seemed to be there for you, only to later undermine your efforts or talk behind your back? It's painful, isn't it? Imagine confiding in someone about your deepest fears and struggles, trusting them with your vulnerabilities, only for them to turn around and use those same fears against you. That's what a false friend does. They chip away at your trust, leaving you feeling exposed and betrayed. The real danger here isn't just the betrayal itself. It's the lasting damage to your ability to trust others. We all need people we can rely on, but when we allow false friends into our lives, we start questioning who we can truly count on. Stoicism, The ancient philosophy that teaches us to control our emotions and live in harmony with nature encourages us to surround ourselves with people who are loyal and authentic. A false friend offers neither of these, and as you get older, you simply can't afford to waste your time on relationships built on deceit. Stoic secrets tell us that authenticity is one of the greatest virtues. In old age, your time becomes more precious, and you should invest it in relationships that support your growth and well-being, not those that hinder it. A true friend, someone who offers loyalty, honesty, and genuine care, is worth their weight in gold. Think about this. As we age, our ability to invest in relationships that add value to our lives becomes more critical. Are you spending time with people who uplift you, or are you holding on to relationships that only serve to drain you? It's easy to fall into the trap of tolerating toxic people because we're afraid of being alone, or we feel obligated to keep up appearances. But the Stoic approach would ask, is this relationship serving me? Or am I simply giving energy to something that doesn't bring me peace? It's a hard truth, but it's one that you must face. Consider the example of a modern-day false friend. I once knew, let's call him Mark. Mark was always the first to lend a helping hand, always eager to listen when I needed advice. But over time, I noticed something unsettling. He would often twist my words or share private conversations with others, and I started feeling more exposed around him than I had ever felt. What I realized was that Mark's support came with strings attached, and those strings were rooted in control. He wanted to shape my decisions and keep me dependent on his opinions. Once I understood this, I had to make a difficult choice. Let go of that friendship, or risk being trapped in a cycle of manipulation. It wasn't easy, but as a Stoic, I knew that my inner peace depended on it. I chose to walk away. What's the lesson here? It's simple. In life, you don't need a large circle of friends. You need a few genuine ones who truly have your back. The Stoic mindset teaches us to value quality over quantity, and this is especially true when it comes to friendships in our later years. Instead of surrounding yourself with people who are motivated by jealousy or control, invest your energy in those who bring you peace, encouragement, and honesty. The Stoic secret here is that authenticity and loyalty should be your guiding principles in any relationship. As you grow older, you need those who will support you in living a life of virtue, not those who make you second-guess your worth or manipulate your decisions. This is about protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring that the people in your life contribute to your happiness, not detract from it. So ask yourself, are you holding on to any false friends in your life? And if so, what will it take to let them go and make space for relationships that truly serve your highest good? Number 5. The chronic complainer. Have you ever met someone who seems to find fault in everything, no matter how good things are? This is the chronic complainer, and I'm sure you've encountered one at some point in your life. It's that person who never seems satisfied no matter how much they have, always focusing on what's wrong, what they lack, or what they believe they deserve. They might constantly gripe about the weather, their health, or even their family, but when it comes to doing anything about it, they remain passive, just letting the negativity fester. It can be exhausting, can't it? You try to be supportive, but no matter how many times you offer advice or suggestions, it feels like nothing can pull them out of their constant state of dissatisfaction. And that's the danger of the chronic complainer. They have this almost magnetic ability to pull you into their negativity, making it harder for you to see the good in your own life. You might find yourself feeling frustrated, drained, and even starting to adopt their pessimistic mindset without even realizing it. It's like a mental and emotional weight that you carry without consent. In our pursuit of modern Stoicism, we are taught an important lesson. While we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a crucial insight when it comes to dealing with people like the chronic complainer. Their negativity may be unavoidable at times, but our response is always within our control. The problem is, if you're constantly around someone who sees everything through a negative lens, it can slowly start to color your own perspective. You might begin to notice yourself complaining more, or becoming irritated by things that would normally pass unnoticed. In old age, as time becomes increasingly valuable, you can't afford to let someone's constant dissatisfaction steal your peace. The Stoic principles urge us to protect our mindset, especially when it comes to those who drain our energy. After all, life in our later years should be about cultivating peace and clarity, not getting sucked into a vortex of complaints. It's essential to maintain a resilient, positive outlook on life, and that means distancing yourself from people who thrive on negativity. But I want you to think about this. How often have you found yourself caught in their grip, feeling the heaviness of their complaints seep into your own thoughts? Have you ever caught yourself starting to complain about things you usually wouldn't care about, simply because you've spent too much time around someone who does? In modern Stoicism, we're reminded that the pursuit of peace and happiness is not about changing the world or other people, but about controlling how we respond to them. So if you have a chronic complainer in your life, I encourage you to set some boundaries. I'm not saying to abandon them, but recognize that you don't need to absorb their negativity. It's important to protect your peace, especially as you get older, when time and energy become your most precious assets. The reality is, you can't control the complainer, but you can control whether you let them affect your own mental and emotional well-being. By distancing yourself from their negativity, you'll create space for more positivity in your life. And remember, your happiness is in your hands. Let go of the chronic complainer and focus on what truly matters: your own growth, peace, and the ability to see the good in the world even when it's hard. Number 6. The user. In the journey of life, especially as we grow older, the relationships we cultivate become crucial to our well-being and sense of peace. One of the most toxic people you might encounter in your later years is the user. This individual sees people not as companions or friends, but as mere tools to fulfill their own needs. They only appear in your life when they need something, whether it's money, help, or connections. And once their needs are met, they vanish without a trace. I'm sure you've encountered someone like this. They constantly ask for favors, but when the roles are reversed, they're nowhere to be found. Their presence is fleeting, and their requests never stop. The manipulation here is subtle, yet powerful. They might use guilt or urgency to persuade you, making you feel as though it's your duty to assist them. The problem with allowing someone like this into your life is that they drain your resources, your time, energy, or finances, without giving anything in return. The more you give, the less you receive, and over time, this leaves you feeling unappreciated, taken advantage of, and even resentful. The Stoic mindset offers us a valuable lesson here. Protect your resources wisely. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In this context, being wise means recognizing that your time, energy, and resources are finite and precious. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of being intentional about where we invest our emotional energy. People who only take and never give are a drain on our lives, and engaging with them without boundaries can slowly erode our peace of mind. When you allow someone to take without reciprocating, you're not just giving away material things. You're giving away pieces of yourself, whether it's your sense of dignity, your mental energy, or your emotional stability. The Stoic secrets to maintaining a tranquil mind lie in making conscious choices about whom to allow into your life, and how much to invest in those relationships. As you move through your later years, it becomes even more important to surround yourself with individuals who offer mutual respect, understanding, and support. In these years, time is no longer as abundant as it once was, and energy becomes a precious commodity. The user seeks to exploit that. without ever considering your needs. Stoicism teaches us the importance of reciprocal relationships, where both parties share in the benefits of the connection. This is not about keeping score, but rather about fostering relationships that bring mutual value and respect. When you invest in such relationships, you create a network of support that nourishes your spirit and helps you navigate life with strength and serenity. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of other people's demands. The pressure to constantly help, to constantly be there can seem overwhelming. But remember the Stoic principle that your energy and time are yours to control. There's nothing wrong with being generous, but there is wisdom in knowing when to draw a line. Protecting your resources from the user doesn't make you selfish. It makes you responsible for your own well-being. In fact, by setting healthy boundaries, you create space for relationships that are not built on exploitation, but on a genuine exchange of care and support. So, as you continue to grow and age, keep in mind the Stoic idea that peace of mind comes from managing your internal world, as well as the people who enter it. By embracing these Stoic secrets, you'll avoid those who drain you and instead create space for those who truly value you for who you are, not for what you can give. You have just taken a huge step forward in your journey to mastering your life and protecting your inner peace. Leave a comment saying, "Protect your energy, set your boundaries," to let us know you are committed to protecting your energy. Stay tuned. Your journey to a meaningful and peaceful life is underway. Number 7. The Narcissist. This type of person believes the world revolves around them, constantly seeking admiration, attention, and validation. They view relationships as transactions where they must always be the center of focus, with little regard for anyone else's needs. A narcissistic friend, for example, may dominate conversations with their own achievements, dismissing or belittling your own accomplishments or struggles. Their world revolves around their desires, and they expect others to cater to their every whim without offering any real support or concern in return. Narcissists are often incapable of empathy, meaning they can't connect with others on a deep mutual level. They leave you feeling more like an audience than a partner, and over time, this can erode your self-worth, making you feel insignificant or even invisible in their presence. In modern Stoicism, we learn that true happiness and self-worth come from within. The Stoics teach us not to rely on external validation. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." Narcissists' behavior is a reflection of their need for constant reassurance, not a reflection of your value. The more we tie our self-worth to the approval of others, the more fragile our emotional resilience becomes, especially in our later years. We must protect ourselves by distancing from relationships that drain us and make us feel less than we are. As we age, it becomes crucial to be intentional about the relationships we maintain. Our energy is limited, and we cannot afford to waste it on people who only take without giving. Narcissists may initially seem attractive, showering us with attention, but their relationships are shallow and one-sided. The Stoics emphasize that we should live a life based on virtue and inner peace, not on the approval of others. Surrounding ourselves with those who lift us up is vital. Relationships should be mutually nourishing, not ones where we feel diminished. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If we allow narcissists into our lives, we risk letting their distorted view of the world shape our own. Their behavior is a reflection of their insecurity, not our worth. It's essential to recognize this and build relationships that affirm our values, support our growth, and contribute to our peace. The Stoic path teaches us that true worth comes from within, not from external admiration. As you enter your later years, it's vital to examine your relationships carefully. Are they nurturing your spirit and peace, or are they feeding into cycles of self-doubt and insecurity? If you find that narcissistic individuals are constantly undermining your self-esteem, it's time to set boundaries and protect your emotional space. Your sense of self is too valuable to be manipulated by those seeking validation at your expense. Remember the Stoic wisdom. The only way to deal with this life meaningfully is to find your passion and pursue it, regardless of the noise around you. Take control of your narrative and distance yourself from those who diminish your light. You deserve relationships that honor and uplift you, not ones that leave you drained and insecure. Number 8. The time waster. As we age, our time becomes increasingly valuable. Every moment feels more precious, as we realize that once it's gone, we can't get it back. Yet many of us allow people into our lives who take our time for granted, which is something we must avoid, especially in our later years. I want to talk to you about the time waster, the person who constantly disrespects your time and priorities. They're always late, canceling last minute, or expecting you to drop everything for them without considering your schedule. Imagine you've planned a quiet day for yourself, only to have a family member or friend disrupt it, demanding you change everything just for them. How does that make you feel? Frustrated? Disrespected? That's what a time waster does. They steal moments from you. The reality is that time is one of the few things we can't replace. We can earn more money, but time, once lost, is gone forever. Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of valuing our time, because it's irreplaceable. As we age, this lesson becomes even more urgent. We must guard our time fiercely and set clear boundaries with those who don't respect it. The Stoic secrets remind us that what we control is how we spend our time, and we don't have to keep accommodating people who treat it like it's disposable. Why spend your precious years constantly adjusting your life for others? Let me tell you about a friend I had. Let's call him Peter. Peter was a prime example of a time waster. He would often call me last minute, needing help with something he might see could have planned ahead for. Sometimes he'd show up hours late with no explanation or apology. At first I tried to be patient, thinking it wasn't a big deal. But eventually I felt drained. I found myself canceling important plans, putting my needs aside just to accommodate him. It wasn't just inconvenient, it felt disrespectful. My time was being drained, and I could never get those moments back. Eventually, I realized I had a choice. I could keep letting Peter waste my time, or I could set boundaries. I chose the latter. I told him that while I valued our friendship, I had to prioritize my own commitments and couldn't keep rearranging my life. For him, the conversation wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And surprisingly, it actually improved our friendship. Once he understood the importance of respecting each other's time, we both became better about honoring each other's schedules. The lesson here is clear. As you age, your time is even more valuable. You've worked hard for the wisdom and freedom that come with getting older. So why waste it on people who don't respect you or your time? Stoic teachings encourage us to be intentional with our time. There's no room for people who drain us or disregard our boundaries. Your time is yours alone, and how you use it should align with your values. If you have people in your life who waste your time, it's crucial to have those tough conversations, set your boundaries, and focus on what truly matters. Reflect on this. Are there people in your life who take more of your time than they should? Are you allowing them to control your schedule and peace? By embracing the Stoic secret of valuing your time, you'll reclaim control over your life and invest in things and people that truly add value. These types of people not only drain your time and energy, but can also impact your mental well-being and the quality of your life during some of the most important years. Avoiding them isn't about hatred or grudges. It's a wise and self-preserving act. In your old age, as in any stage of life, you deserve to be surrounded by people who bring value, peace, and genuine sincerity. Stoic principles to protect your time and energy. But staying away from toxic individuals is only half of the solution. To truly protect your time and energy, you need a solid set of principles to guide how you live and choose meaningful relationships. This is where Stoic philosophy comes in. Let's explore Stoic principles that help you maintain your peace of mind, enjoy old age meaningfully, and avoid getting caught up in unnecessary negativity. Number 1. Live with purpose and conviction. Have you ever asked yourself what truly gives your life meaning? In old age, this question becomes more important than ever. Without purpose, time slips through our fingers, and we risk looking back with regret instead of fulfillment. That's why living with purpose and conviction is not just an abstract idea, it's a necessity. When you have a clear sense of direction, when you know what matters to you, every decision becomes easier. You don't waste energy on things that don't serve you. You don't let distractions pull you away from what truly brings value to your life. Instead, you move with intention, ensuring that your remaining years are filled with meaning, not just routine. Think about it. What drives you? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Maybe your purpose is to inspire your grandchildren, share your wisdom, or continue creating art, writing, or teaching. Perhaps it's to give back to your community, making sure the world is just a little better because you were here. Whatever it is, having that purpose gives you clarity, and clarity gives you resilience. Life will always bring challenges. Aging itself is filled with uncertainties, but when you have a deep-rooted reason for waking up every morning, you handle difficulties with grace instead of despair. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." That means if you don't set meaningful ambitions for yourself, you risk feeling lost, like a ship without a destination, simply drifting along without control. But it's not enough to have purpose. You have to live with conviction. That means making intentional choices that reflect your values, prioritizing your well-being, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift rather than drain you. When you live with conviction, you don't say yes to everything. You protect your time and energy. You say no to toxic relationships, meaningless distractions, and anything that doesn't align with the life you want to live. Ask yourself, how often do you say yes to things that don't serve you? How many times have you allowed obligations or expectations to pull you away from what truly matters? In modern Stoicism, we understand that true freedom comes from within, not from chasing external validation, but from living in alignment with what we believe in. Seneca put it best when he said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." If you don't have a clear purpose, how can you expect to find peace? As we age, our time becomes our most precious resource. We must use it wisely. That means cutting out the noise, focusing on what brings joy and meaning, and refusing to live passively. Every choice we make is either an investment in a meaningful life or a step toward regret. So, what kind of life are you choosing? Are you actively shaping your future, or are you simply letting time pass, hoping fulfillment will come to you? Purpose doesn't happen by accident. It is something you must define and then protect fiercely. That is the essence of modern Stoicism, taking control of your mind, your time, and your values, rather than being controlled by the expectations of others. So today I challenge you, define your purpose. Live with conviction. Make every day count, because in the end, your life will not be measured by how much time you had, but by how well you used it. Number 2, choose a positive environment. As we navigate the later years of life, one of the most important choices we can make is deciding the kind of environment we want to exist in. The people we surround ourselves with, the spaces we occupy, and the daily interactions we engage in all shape our mental and emotional well-being. It is not enough to seek inner peace. We must also cultivate an external world that nourishes rather than depletes us. I have learned that being intentional about where I place my energy is one of the greatest acts of self-care. You must choose relationships that uplift you, challenge you to grow, and align with your values. Some people will fill your life with positivity and encouragement, while others will drain you, leaving behind exhaustion and frustration. The difference between thriving and merely surviving often lies in the environments we create. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn as they teach." This is the essence of a positive environment. It is reciprocal, nourishing, and aligned with your highest self. Yet, many of us hesitate to make necessary changes because we feel obligated to maintain connections that no longer serve us. Perhaps there are family members who constantly criticize, friends who only dwell on negativity, or even social spaces that no longer bring joy. The Stoic approach is not about avoidance, but about discernment. If you find yourself in an environment that diminishes your energy, it is not only acceptable but essential to set boundaries. This does not mean cutting people off without reason, but rather creating a structure that protects your peace. Just as a gardener prunes branches to allow the tree to flourish, you must also remove negativity from your life to make room for growth. The Stoic secrets to a fulfilling life lie in this careful curation, choosing what to engage with and, just as importantly, what to walk away from. In today's world, negativity is easier to absorb than ever before. Social media bombards us with outrage. News cycles keep us in a state of anxiety, and certain people seem to thrive on spreading fear and dissatisfaction. If you are not mindful, these external forces can weigh you down, influencing your thoughts and emotions in ways you do not even realize. This is why curating your environment is a lifelong practice. Who do you allow into your mental space? What conversations do you engage in? Where do you spend your time? Every answer shapes the quality of your life. Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot control the external world, we can control what we let into our inner world. By choosing a positive environment, you give yourself the best chance at peace, clarity, and resilience. At this stage in life, every day is too precious to waste in environments that do not nurture you. You have the power to decide where you invest your time and energy. Build relationships with those who support and challenge you in meaningful ways. Spend time in places that inspire calm and purpose. Release the obligation to remain in spaces that do not honor your well-being. The Stoic secrets to a fulfilling life are not hidden. They are in the daily choices you make. You deserve a life where your surroundings reinforce your peace rather than disrupt it. Choose wisely, and you will find that by protecting your environment, you are ultimately protecting yourself. Let me ask you this. If you're ready to create a positive environment, one that nourishes your mind rather than drains it, take action now. Like this video and comment below. Positive environment, thriving life. Because the quality of your life isn't just shaped by your inner world, but also by what you choose to surround yourself with. Number 3. Learn to say no. One of the most empowering skills you can develop in life, especially as you grow older, is the ability to say no without guilt or hesitation. This simple word is a shield, a boundary that protects your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others or being perceived as selfish. But the truth is, setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-respect. If you constantly give in to demands, whether from family members, friends, or acquaintances who take without ever giving back, you will soon find yourself depleted, exhausted, and resentful. Saying no is a way of choosing where to invest your energy wisely, ensuring that your efforts are spent on things that align with your values rather than being drained by obligations that serve only others. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus reminds us, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, if standing up for your own peace means others might not like it, so be it. Your well-being is not up for negotiation. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we must control our own responses and choices rather than trying to please everyone around us. The more you say yes to things that drain you, the less space you leave for what truly matters: your health, your peace, and your own personal pursuits. Think about it. If you always agree to every request out of obligation, what remains for you? Life is too short to be spent fulfilling the never-ending expectations of others at the cost of your own happiness. In your later years, your energy and time are even more valuable, and you must protect them with intention. There may be family members who assume you are always available, or friends who guilt-trip you into commitments that no longer serve you. But ask yourself, are these obligations bringing you fulfillment, or are they merely habits you've kept out of fear of disappointing others? Seneca wisely stated, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Many of the fears that hold us back from saying no are simply imagined consequences that never actually happen. By learning to say no, you take ownership of your life and assert your right to choose how you spend your time. It does not mean cutting off relationships or isolating yourself. Rather, it means engaging with others on your own terms, ensuring that your generosity is given freely, not out of obligation. In modern Stoicism, we recognize that our time and attention are finite, and we should spend them only on things that contribute to our well-being, our values, and our peace. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This is a reminder that time is fleeting, and every moment wasted on something meaningless is a moment lost forever. You must be selective with your commitments, choosing only what truly enriches your life. So as you move through this stage of life, take a step back and evaluate where your time and energy are going. Are you saying yes out of obligation, guilt, or fear? Or are you making intentional choices that honor your needs and priorities? The ability to say no is not a rejection of others. It is an affirmation of yourself. Your later years should be spent in peace, surrounded by people and activities that nourish your soul, not by constant obligations that drain your spirit. Modern Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others, but we can control the way we allocate our energy, and that power alone is enough to transform your life. So, embrace the power of no. Use it with wisdom and protect your peace fiercely, because if you don't, no one else will. Number 4. Practice gratitude and calm. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have to combat stress and negativity. When we focus on what we have, rather than what we lack, our perspective shifts. We begin to see life through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. Too often we allow our thoughts to be consumed by regrets of the past or worries about the future. But true contentment is found in the present moment. Imagine waking up every morning, and instead of immediately thinking about what needs to be done or what went wrong yesterday, you take a deep breath and acknowledge something you're grateful for. It could be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of a loved one, or even just the ability to move freely and think clearly. When you practice gratitude, you build emotional resilience. You strengthen your ability to remain positive even in the face of difficulties. Stoicism teaches us that calmness in the face of adversity is a virtue. Life will always bring challenges, but how we respond to them is within our control. Think about a time when you let stress take over. Maybe it was an argument with someone close to you, an unexpected financial setback, or a health scare. In that moment, did panic or anger help you? Or did it only make things worse? The Stoic secrets remind us that maintaining inner peace is a choice, and one of the best ways to cultivate that peace is through gratitude. When you appreciate what you have, you naturally become less reactive to the chaos around you. Let me tell you about a man I once knew. Let's call him John. John had been through a lot in life. Lost his job at 60, faced health problems, and even saw some of his closest friends drift away. At first, he let these hardships consume him. He became bitter, complaining about everything that had gone wrong. But then something changed. He started keeping a small journal, writing down 3 things he was grateful for every night before bed. At first, it felt silly to him. What was the point of writing things like, "I'm grateful for a good cup of coffee," or "I appreciate the kindness of a stranger"? But over time, he noticed something. His attitude shifted. He started smiling more. His stress levels dropped. He stopped focusing on what he had lost and started appreciating what he still had. That shift in mindset gave him a newfound sense of peace. Instead of resisting life's changes, he learned to embrace them with gratitude. The lesson here is simple but profound. The more we appreciate, the calmer we become. Gratitude isn't just about listing things you're thankful for. It's a way of training your mind to focus on what truly matters. The Stoic secret is that peace isn't found in having a perfect life, but in learning to be content with the life you have. When you cultivate both gratitude and calm, you become unshaken by the noise of the world. You protect your mental and emotional energy from being drained by things outside your control. So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly paused and appreciated the small joys in your life? How often do you let worries and stress steal your peace? If you start practicing gratitude daily, even in the smallest ways, you'll find that calmness naturally follows. And in old age, that sense of peace is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Number 5. Build meaningful relationships. As we grow older, you may start to realize something deeply important. The relationships you cultivate in your later years are more precious than ever. In youth, we can afford to spread ourselves thin, chasing every connection, but as time passes, your energy and focus become more finite. So, have you ever thought about the people you spend the most time with? Are they people who uplift you, challenge you to be better, and genuinely share your values? Or are they simply there adding little to your personal growth? Let me tell you, as we age, it becomes essential to build relationships that are truly meaningful, those that nourish your soul and elevate your life. A meaningful relationship isn't one where you're always the giver, pouring into someone who takes, but never reciprocates. It's about mutual respect, support, and growth. Take a moment and think about the relationships you currently have. Which ones inspire you? Which ones leave you feeling exhausted or unappreciated? It's crucial to ask yourself these questions, because as the Stoics taught us, true wealth lies not in material possessions or fleeting pleasures, but in the quality of our relationships. Marcus Aurelius once said, "We are social animals. Our nature is to be connected." The Stoics knew that the connections we form shape the person we become, and in old age, these connections hold even more power. So let me ask you, are the people around you helping you become the best version of yourself? Do they encourage your passions and dreams, or do they diminish them? In the end, it's about surrounding yourself with people who make you feel seen, heard, and valued. People who can celebrate your wins and support you through your challenges. In the spirit of modern Stoicism, it's vital to not only seek out these relationships, but also to let go of the ones that no longer serve you. Relationships that drain your energy or violate your boundaries are not only unhealthy, they can prevent you from living the peaceful, fulfilled life you deserve. So focus on those who truly enrich your life. Those who inspire you to grow, challenge you to improve, and help you maintain the mental clarity needed in your later years. Life's too short to spend it with people who don't align with your values. In this stage of life, let your circle be filled with the ones who bring joy, support, and genuine connection, for these are the treasures that will keep you strong, vibrant, and content in your golden years. Have you identified those people in your life yet? Are you ready to prioritize the relationships that truly matter? Because in the end, it's these connections that will fill your life with meaning. If you've made it this far, you truly understand the value of meaningful relationships and the power of genuine connections. Leave a comment with the phrase, quality, over quantity meaning over surface, to affirm your commitment to building relationships that truly add value to your life. The journey toward a more meaningful life starts with the choices you make today. Number 6. Develop resilience in the face of challenges. As we grow older, life's challenges become a constant presence. Health issues, the loss of loved ones, or the sense that time is slipping away too quickly are just a few of the trials we all face. But how we respond to these challenges makes all the difference in maintaining our peace and well-being. I have learned that true strength lies not in avoiding difficulties, but in developing resilience, an ability to navigate life's hardships with grace, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to growth. The Stoics believed that life is not about avoiding adversity, but embracing it as a teacher. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations wisely states, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful reminder tells us that every obstacle presents an opportunity for growth, even when the situation seems bleak. Take health challenges, for instance. In old age, it's natural to face some health issues, whether physical or mental. A person who is resilient doesn't dwell on the negative aspects of their condition. Instead, they seek ways to manage it and adjust their life to continue living with purpose. They find solutions, embrace their new reality, and take steps to make the most out of their situation. Whether it's adjusting their routine, seeking new forms of exercise, or cultivating a mindset of acceptance, resilient individuals face these changes head-on, choosing not to be defeated by them. Rather than allowing the difficulties of life to define them, they redefine their experience by focusing on what they can control. The Stoic secrets to emotional and mental resilience rest on the principle of controlling our reactions, rather than the circumstances themselves. We cannot control the setbacks life throws at us, but we can control how we respond to them. When you develop resilience, you protect yourself from the emotional turmoil that accompanies life's inevitable setbacks. You learn to view hardships as part of the natural flow of life rather than as a personal failure or injustice. This shift in perspective allows you to conserve your energy for what matters most: your inner peace, your growth, and your continued pursuit of a fulfilling life. In today's world, it's easy to fall into a victim mindset, especially as we face the inevitability of aging. Society often tells us that our best years are behind us and that challenges are a sign of decline. But this perspective does a disservice to our potential. By embracing the Stoic mindset, we realize that every age brings new opportunities for wisdom, learning, and growth. Developing resilience means acknowledging that setbacks are simply part of the human experience, not the end of it. You may face challenges, but you also have the power to shape how those challenges affect you. By choosing resilience, you choose strength. To live with resilience, you must accept that difficulty is part of the journey. But as Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Life will throw curveballs, but how you respond, whether with acceptance, adaptability, or even humor, will determine how you move through them. As you age, let each challenge become an opportunity to build your strength, deepen your wisdom, and fortify your spirit. The Stoic secrets to resilience are not about denying difficulty, but about embracing it with the full understanding that it has the potential to make you stronger, more compassionate, and more determined. Life will always bring its challenges, but by developing resilience, you will face them with a calm mind and a steadfast heart, knowing that every obstacle is, in truth, a stepping stone toward a richer, more fulfilling existence. Number 7. Listen and understand yourself. As we age, understanding ourselves becomes increasingly important. In the busyness of life, it's easy to let outside expectations and relationships define us, but true peace comes from a deep connection with who we are. The older we get, the more we realize that many of life's answers lie within us. Modern Stoicism teaches that self-awareness is the foundation of a fulfilling life. By listening to your inner thoughts, desires, and emotions, you gain clarity on what matters most, allowing you to live authentically and make choices aligned with your values. For instance, if you notice that certain people or environments drain your energy, this is your inner self trying to tell you something. Acknowledging these feelings is essential, as Epictetus wisely said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." Understanding yourself helps you live in accordance with your values, rather than being influenced by outside pressures. In later life, self-awareness empowers you to make intentional choices. You no longer have to spend energy on relationships or situations that don't serve your well-being. We often feel obligated to keep certain people in our lives, especially out of family duty or fear of loneliness. Yet, the Stoics believed that our peace should never be compromised by relationships that drain us. Listening to your inner voice gives you the agency to set boundaries, limit interactions, or even walk away from toxic situations. This doesn't mean abandoning people, but protecting your emotional health. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By choosing relationships that bring peace, you elevate both your life quality and your inner state. In today's fast-paced world, it can be hard to find time for self-reflection, yet it's vital in our later years. Taking just a few minutes each day to sit quietly with your thoughts helps you understand your emotional responses and desires. Modern Stoicism teaches us that paying attention to our feelings helps guide our actions. If something or someone makes you uncomfortable or drains your energy, trust your inner wisdom to protect your peace. This aligns your life with your true self, which leads to long-lasting happiness and fulfillment. Self-awareness also shapes how we make decisions. In our later years, each decision, big or small, becomes more significant. Knowing yourself helps. You avoid situations that don't contribute positively to your life, such as toxic relationships or unrealistic commitments. The Stoic reflection, "What stands in the way becomes the way," as Marcus Aurelius said, shows that every challenge, difficult relationship, or energy drain is an opportunity for growth. By tuning into your emotional responses, you gain wisdom to make decisions that protect your peace and align with your highest self. As you age, take the time to listen to yourself. In a world full of distractions, self-understanding is the greatest form of wisdom. Your time and energy are valuable. Don't let others dictate how they should be spent. Modern Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from within. By protecting your energy and making choices based on your values, you live a life of purpose and peace. The most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. The clearer you are about who you are, the easier it becomes to say yes to things that align with your authentic self and no to things that don't. By understanding yourself, you unlock the power to live the life you deserve, full of peace, clarity, and joy. As we've discussed today, time becomes our most precious resource as we age, and it's crucial to protect it from those who might drain our energy or waste it. By applying modern Stoicism and avoiding toxic relationships, you can craft a life that is truly meaningful, peaceful, and fulfilling. It's not just about avoiding the wrong people, it's about surrounding yourself with those who lift you up, challenge you, and inspire growth. Focus on living with purpose, setting clear boundaries, practicing gratitude, and nurturing relationships that align with your values. As we embrace the Stoic secrets to living a fulfilling life, we become more resilient, more focused, and more at peace. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. And make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos filled with wisdom to help you live your best life. Take care, and remember, your time is precious. Use it wisely.